Cadillac didn't enter Formula One just to participate, they came to disrupt. And if the latest paddock whispers are true, they might be about to make one of the boldest moves in recent F1 history by handing the keys of their brand new team to none other than Christian Horner. Yeah, that Horner, the guy who led Red Bull to a dynasty, then became the face of one of the most dramatic off-track sagas F1 has seen in years. Now he's officially out of Red Bull. And Cadillac? They're suddenly in need of a leader who knows how to build a team from the ground up and take it to the top. Let's rewind. Back when Cadillac announced their 2026 entry, nobody took them too seriously. A flashy American brand with no F1 history, Ferrari-powered engines? Appointing a guy named Graham Loden as team principal who, let's be honest, isn't exactly a household name in the sport. Yeah, it didn't scream title contender. But slowly, that perception started to shift. Talks with top-tier drivers, strategic silence, and now, rumors swirling around Horner joining the party? That's not just noise. That's a potential power shift. And think about it. This isn't just about Cadillac needing someone. Horner needs a redemption arc. His exit from Red Bull was messy, public, and left a big fat question mark on his legacy. But what better way to rewrite the narrative than to take a fresh team, one with zero expectations, and turn it into a threat? It's not far-fetched either, he's done it before. Red Bull in 2005 was a startup with energy drink money. 20 years later, they're a juggernaut. Now imagine doing that again, but this time with American money, new regulations, and nothing to lose. Of course, Cadillac already has someone in place. Loden's technically their team boss. But no offense, if you have a chance to replace your rookie leader with someone who's won multiple championships and understands the political and technical minefield of F1 inside out, wouldn't you at least consider it? Especially when you're also trying to convince drivers like Bottas or Perez to trust you with their final years in the sport. Speaking of which, Cadillac's driver hunt is just as chaotic and just as interesting. Initially, they were looking at pairing two seasoned drivers to guide their rookie campaign, but now the vibe's changing. One veteran, one young gun. That's the formula being floated around. Makes sense. You want stability, but also long-term growth. That's where names like Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez come in. Both have proven track records. Both have been to the podium more times than half the current grid combined, but both are now in a weird twilight zone of their careers. No top team really wants them, but no bottom team can afford them. And yet, Cadillac might be just the right fit. Bottas, in particular, is still respected across the paddock. Toto Wolff literally came out and vouched for him, saying he's one of the smartest assets Mercedes had during their dominant years. That's not lip service, that's straight up endorsement. Perez, meanwhile, comes with a $30 million 0-cent sponsorship deal that could bankroll half of Cadillac's startup season. That kind of cash turns heads, even if his recent performances haven't exactly screamed lead driver. But here's where it gets really spicy. What if Cadillac signs Horner first, then lets him decide the driver lineup? Suddenly, it's not just about experience or marketability. It becomes about loyalty, strategy, chemistry, and redemption. For Horner, for Cadillac, and maybe even for the drivers the sport left behind too soon. Bottas isn't just a fallback option. He's a strategic weapon for any team trying to find its footing in Formula One. Sure, his Alfa Romeo stint didn't light the world on fire, but let's not act like he forgot how to drive. This is a guy who spent 5 seasons as Lewis Hamilton's wingman, never missing a Q3 session and bagging 10 Grand Prix wins. That kind of consistency doesn't just vanish. He knows how to develop a car, manage pressure, and more importantly, lead when needed. For a team like Cadillac trying to make a splash in year one, he's exactly the kind of calm-headed anchor you want in the garage. And yet, Sergio Perez brings a whole different energy. Say what you will about his current form, the man finished second in the Drivers' Championship during Red Bull's most dominant era. That's no small feat. Even Webber couldn't pull that off in the golden days of 2010 to 2013. The dude's battle tested. Plus, the money he brings is no joke. $30 million, 0 cents, is a game changer for a new team. That kind of funding can mean faster upgrades, better facilities, or just more breathing room in a season where every penny matters. But with that money comes risk. If Perez shows up like he did during his rough stretches at Red Bull, Cadillac could end up with a very expensive problem. Then there's the wild card in all this, Yuki Tsunoda. He's younger, scrappier, and arguably more adaptable than either Bottas or Perez. He's already experienced the brutality of Red Bull's sink-or-swim philosophy and somehow managed to stick around. That alone says something. He's driven in midfield and backmarker teams. He's dealt with underperforming cars, team instability, and constantly shifting expectations. Now imagine him in an environment that actually invests in his growth instead of threatening his seat every other weekend. Cadillac could benefit from someone like Tsunoda. He's not only fast, he's hungry. And when a new team wants to build long-term, that hunger can be more valuable than a dusty trophy cabinet. He might not bring in $30 million, 0 cents, or wear a Mercedes badge, but what he does bring is potential. Real, explosive underdog energy. And if there's one thing Americans love, it's an underdog story. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Even if Cadillac nails the driver combo, say Bottas and Tsunoda, or Perez and a fresh F2 talent, they still need the right person calling the shots from the pit wall. That's where the Christian Horner equation gets even more fascinating. Because this isn't just about Cadillac wanting him, it's about Horner needing them too. He's not exactly drowning in options. A part ownership role at Alpine? That's a $300 million 0 cents gamble with no guarantee of influence. A sideways move to Aston Martin? Good luck navigating Lawrence Stroll's ego. For Horner, Cadillac might be the only path back into the game on his own terms. And here's the kicker. Cadillac isn't just another team entering the grid. They've got Detroit swagger, deep pockets, and a point to prove. It's Red Bull too, but with American muscle and a bigger chip on their shoulder. They know they'll be written off as rookies. That's exactly why a veteran team principal with championship pedigree makes so much sense. Horner could walk in, set the culture, shape the identity, and start building his second empire. In Cadillac, they'd go from being just another expansion team to a serious player overnight. The only question now is, do they have the guts to pull the trigger, or are they going to play it safe and hope for miracles under Lowden's leadership? Graham Lowden isn't a bad option on paper. He's experienced in operations, has led technical programs in motorsport, and knows his way around the corporate maze that's baked into every F1 paddock. But there's a difference between managing logistics and commanding a team. When lights go out in Bahrain 2026 and Cadillac is staring down 19 other machines built for war, they'll need someone who's done this dance at the top level. Someone who's navigated the politics, the media heat, and the race-by-race chaos of F1. That's where Horner's name rings louder than any CV could. Cadillac has the rare chance to flip the script. Instead of joining F1 as just another ambitious project with a 5-year plan, they could fast-track their trajectory by betting on proven experience. Bringing in Horner signals intent. It tells the rest of the grid that they're not here to experiment, they're here to compete. Instantly, sponsors start calling. Engineers who were hesitant about joining a startup suddenly get curious. Drivers see more than just a paycheck. They see a platform, and that platform gets even more interesting when you consider the driver market over the next 6 months. Mick Schumacher, once thought to be the next big thing, now finds himself locked into a WEC seat with dwindling F1 prospects. His name has weight, sure, but teams want momentum, not just legacy. That leaves Felipe Drugovich as the underdog with the most to prove. He dominated F2, impressed quietly in reserve roles, and is just waiting for one team, any team, to give him an actual shot. A Cadillac seat would be more than a debut, it'd be his chance to blow the door wide open. If Horner steps in, he'll want someone like Drugovich, someone who doesn't come with baggage, someone who listens, adapts, and can be molded into the team's long-term weapon. Bottas and Drugovich? That's a real pairing. Calm, consistent leadership from one side of the garage and raw hunger from the other. Mix in Horner's experience managing difficult dynamics, think Vettel, Weber, Verstappen, Ricciardo, and suddenly the potential starts looking scary. key. The clock's ticking. Every team is locking down lineups, and Cadillac has to move quickly if they want to secure top-tier talent. That includes infrastructure, too. The technical side of things, factories, simulator programs, staffing, none of it matters if the top doesn't lead with clarity and vision. And no disrespect to Loden, but F1 isn't a place that lets people learn on the job. You either adapt instantly or get swallowed whole. Let's not forget the emotional narrative here either. Horner coming back as the architect of a new team after being dragged through the mud at Red Bull is practically cinematic. He'd have nothing to lose and everything to gain. The pressure's different now. It's not about defending titles, it's about proving he was never the problem to begin with. And that kind of personal motivation, dangerous in the best way. Cadillac has all the ingredients: deep funding, manufacturer backing, open driver slots, and the rare flexibility to take creative risks. They're not locked into traditions. They don't have to play it like everyone else. They can make moves nobody sees coming, but bold visions require bold decisions. And appointing Christian Horner, despite the noise, the past, and the risks, might be the smartest call they could make. Because let's face it, no one remembers the safe teams. No one roots for the project that just blends in. This is Formula One. The stories that matter are the ones that shake things up. And if Cadillac wants to matter, truly matter, then playing it bold might not just be an option, it might be the only way.